Valentine's Day is only second to Christmas when it comes to sending cards, with an estimated 140 million Valentines sent each year.
And whether you love the holiday or hate it, there's some amazing history about the day we celebrate love and romance.
Let's dig into this.
You've probably heard stories about the origin of Valentine's Day, from pagan festivals to Saint Valentine, but the history isn't quite that simple.
For one thing, there are three St. Valentines and some claims of as many as 30, with a few Valentinas thrown in for good measure. And there are three main legends related to St. Valentine, too. One Valentine is said to have married couples in secret after Emperor Claudius II decided married men made bad soldiers in 3rd century Rome. Others say Valentine was killed for helping mistreated prisoners escape from Roman prisons. And the third legend claims Valentine was the one in prison and fell in love with his guard's daughter, starting the Valentine tradition when he wrote her a letter and signed it, "From your Valentine."
And of course, there's also Lupercalia, the ancient pagan fertility festival held in February 15th, which included sacrifices represented today as 24-hour period of drunkenness and debauchery. Whether any of these legends are the real origin of Valentine's Day, it's impossible to know.
We do know Valentine's Day is popular throughout the world and filled with folk traditions. A poem by Chaucer in the 14th century holds claim to the first printed mention of St. Valentine's Day as a day of love, claiming birds chose their mates that day. Shakespeare wrote that it was a day to celebrate love, and in some parts of the world it's known as the day the roots start to grow after the long winter. In parts of England, Jack Valentine visits, leaving sweets and toys for children at the back steps of homes on Valentine's.
But Valentine's Day didn't turn into a day revolving around expressing love until the 1700s, when handwritten letters sent to friends and potential sweethearts became popular. By the 1800s, books suggesting verses to copy for your Valentine were being sold just in case you couldn't think up a flowery prose on your own.
Factory-made paper Valentine cards started in the early 1800s in England, embellished with flowers, ribbons, and laces. And an estimated 60,000 cards were mailed in 1835 in the UK, although postage was expensive. Postal reforms in 1840 brought the rate to mail cards down, and the practice exploded. An estimated 400,000 cards were mailed in 1841 alone.
In the US, Esther Howland is known as the mother of Valentine's Day. In 1847, she received an English Valentine from a business associate of her father, who owned the stationery company in Worcester, Massachusetts. At that time, cards were usually handmade. The imported cards from Europe were so expensive most people couldn't afford them.
Esther thought it would be a wonderful thing to produce and sell similar cards at an affordable price. She made up a set of cards that her brother took on his next sales trip for the store, hoping to get orders totaling around $200. Her brother came home from the sales trip with a reported $5,000 worth of orders.
Esther Howland set up shop at home with friends helping her produce the cards by hand at first. Her highly decorated cards had lines of verse inside, and this would become the standard for Valentine's up to this day. Eventually hiring women to work from home, Esther Holland was a successful entrepreneur and the first to mass produce Valentine's cards in the US.
With the mass production of cards, the holiday grew even more popular and other industries took notice. Beginning in 1868, the Cadbury Company sold fancy boxes of chocolates for the day, and by the mid 1900s, red roses and jewelry were popular Valentine's gifts.
But it was back in the Victorian era that the day really reached its zenith as a day of love. At the time, it was perfectly acceptable to express love in flowery words to friends, even those of the same gender, even if no actual romance was involved.
Of course, other emotions could be expressed too. And if you think people are meaner today thanks to social media, back in the day, a vinegar Valentine was their version of today's nasty meme or post.
The first Vinegar Valentines, sometimes called insulting, mock, or comic Valentines, appear around 1840. They're sometimes mistakenly called penny dreadfuls today. supposedly because they cost a penny or could be mailed for a penny. But real penny dreadfuls were hugely popular weekly serial stories. They were sold in parts every week for a penny in England.
Some surviving Vinegar Valentines are funny, but some are absolutely brutal. Cheap and easy to send anonymously, they often addressed a person's looks or bad habits. We have more examples of the sweet Valentines, probably because folks who received the so-called Vinegar Valentines weren't about to save them as mementos. But a search through many that have survived shows some that were obviously meant to deter suitors. Others made fun of drinking too much or showing public displays of affection.
And some of the strangest to understand insult doctors, artists, policemen, sales ladies, and other professions. It's thought that Vinegar Valentines accounted for half of all Valentine sales in the US at one point.
Many of these may have been sent as jokes and not, as we usually jump to assume nowadays, as a pointed jab at another person. But then again, the Pall Mall Gazette in London reported that a man shot his estranged wife after receiving a Vinegar Valentine in 1885. So who knows?
We hope you have a sweet Valentine's Day, and thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, here's another Dragonden video you might like.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
And you can hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when our videos come out.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.